Let's just get right down to it, shall we? Are electric vehicles less expensive to repair than normal combustion engines? Well, obviously the answer is yes. That's a quick answer. Quick video, right? No, it's not that simple. So, why are they less expensive? Are they less maintenance? And does the cost of the parts, because parts are a lot more expensive because they're a lot less available, does that equal out to be less expensive, more expensive, or just about the same of maintaining your average combustion engine vehicle to, like, we'll say 150,000? Go ahead. I'll give you a second to think about it. All right, now let me tell you what I think. So, all vehicles are still going to need repair. It drives down the road. Your tires still going to take wear. Your suspension components still going to take wear. Your brakes, well, they're still going to take wear, but there's a caveat to that. So electric vehicles use what's called regenerative braking. So they use the vehicle's brakes. There's a generator on the back of it. So as you're braking, it creates power, right? Well, when you first apply the brake pedal, before you apply a large amount of brakes, really all your car is using to slow you down is just them generators. They're letting them spin, and the friction and the force of those generators are what's slowing you down. When you need more brake force, obviously, and you apply the brake pedal harder, then your brake pads come out, or I think it's a disc, so they squeeze together and squeeze your rotor together. But this being the way that it is, and the generators doing like the first 20% of your braking, it means that your brake pads and your brake rotors wear a lot less. The wear on them is minimal to like 50% at least less than a normal pads and rotors setup. Or if you have drums, I think it'd be like 25% less than drums and shoes. But so there's one. We're increased 50% livelihood on brakes. So let's move to the next. So you don't have oil changes. You would really only have your coolant to keep your batteries cool and your brake fluid that you'd have to check on regular intervals and probably change every once in a while. I already said suspension components, but then you're cutting out spark plugs, you're cutting out exhausts, you're cutting out timing chains, you're cutting out timing belts, you're cutting out fuel, you're cutting out fuel lines, you're cutting out fuel filters, you're cutting out evaporation, emissions, you're cutting out, you're cutting out a lot of systems that come in the engine compartment. So that's a lot of moving parts that they're gone. They don't exist. They're just straight set up parts in electric vehicles, or they don't exist. So you don't have to replace them. So there's another huge thing that you don't have to do: oil changes. You have to do those every 3,000 to 5,000 miles on your average combustion engine vehicle, right? You don't ever have to do that for your electric vehicle. Now, they haven't been around that long to where we know how long they last. If they last up into the 200, 300,000 mile range, some of them might not. But really, I mean, like, that's a really big cost factor of just never having to do an oil change again, never having to deal with spark plugs, never having to deal with fuel filters, never having to deal with oil filters, never having to deal with serpentine belts, never having to deal with this, that. Well, actually, that's not true. I think there is a dry belt for the alternator and a couple other things, but that's beside the point. There's so many different parts that you just will never have to replace again. So that's just cutting off your average maintenance. So then when you do have a ball joint or a control arm or something break, well, you just saved $1,000 in the last year not doing oil changes. There's your $1,000 for the ball joint. So I would definitely think that it is less expensive and less maintenance. So, overall, you're going to spend a lot less money after paying for it. Now, obviously, electric cars, to get a new one, they're kind of pricey. They're not out of my price range, at least. But in the next couple of years, as technology increases, as competition increases, the price will decrease, and they'll become more readily available for, everyday people like me, and hopefully maybe you watching me. So, yeah, I think that it's a very good idea. I think that there's a lot of improvements that need to be made, but there's just so much work that, like, you're cutting out that your normal diesel engine or your normal combustion engine you would have to do. So then you also, on the other side of that, you do have the large 12-volt lithium-ion batteries. And I'm not going to get into environmental effects. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an environmentalist. I am not qualified to speak on any of that. I just read articles. So we're not going to talk about that. What we're going to talk about is the expensiveness. I mean, lithium ion is a very, very precious material. It's very expensive. And to get them batteries replaced, you can't just replace one battery cell. You have to replace the whole battery pack that runs the length of your car. And it's expensive. I mean, it's like almost half the cost of the car, if I'm not mistaken. I might be totally wrong. I had a different mechanic that I worked with that came from a large electric vehicle dealership. He had kind of talked to me about a little bit about the stuff that he had done, the price, the cost, what it looked like. So, I'm speaking from a place of experience, but it's like that would be very expensive. And we don't really have enough data to go off of like knowing how long they last exactly. So we have to kind of wait a couple more years, see more of them fail, see more of them last, and figure out what the average is. But yeah, overall, less maintenance, less money. Up front, you might spend a little more, but through its lifetime, it's going to save you money. And then you also have the charging. I think that is going to get better as the years come. Unless you have a home charger, it's really tough, or live by like an apartment charger, or like a courtyard charger or something. It'd probably be pretty tough to charge your vehicle. But as chargers start becoming available at like workplace parking lots, at schools, at all these different places, it's going to be easy to go into wherever you have to go, plug your car in, let it charge while you're doing whatever you have to do, and head home. It's going to become a lot more easy. It's going to become a lot more realistic. So that's what I got today. If you guys made it this far, please like, please subscribe, and please share this to your friends. Thank you, guys.